mates! Welcome back to the Creative Board where we take your boredom to the next level. I am so excited for today's episode dahil ang guest natin for today played the role of alternate Kim in the international play Miss Saigon. Oh, di ba? Gusto niyo yon? Gusto ko din yon. Sobra kayo mag-e-enjoy sa kwentuhan namin today because she will retell kung paano siya napili among all other girls with professional background sa theater and ano rin yung mga natutunan niya while working in Miss Saigon. So, I know na lahat tayo excited na for today's episode. So, let's welcome our special guest for today, Joreen Bautista.
Hi po!
Yan, thank you so much for joining us in our Kwentuhan session for today. Sobrang excited kami at mga fangirls mo na kami. Sa mga YouTube videos mo, sobrang napanood namin silang lahat. Sobrang talented mo and sobrang fun mo sa mga videos mo.
Thank you sa support. And thank you for having me.
Ayan, so yung first question namin siguro for you is, how did you start discovering na magaling ka sa singing and acting?
Actually, until now, it's still a process of discovering where you're best at. When I was a kid po, both my parents sing, not professionally, pero they sing a lot at home. So yun po yung naririnig ko, palagi po silang kumakanta, palagi din po akong kumakanta as a kid. Pero syempre, bata pa lang, hindi mo pa masasabing, ay, magaling yan. Siguro hinasa din po ng mom ko. She taught me. And yun, tuloy-tuloy lang po. Because that was my exposure. That's what I became passionate about. And that's what I got myself into growing up. Yun po yung naging, kung break from school, that's what I would look for. If I would look for something fun to do, that's what I would do.
I see. Pero paano ka first na-expose sa opportunities in singing sa theater?
Yun nga po, when I was a kid, I grew up in a very musically inclined family, diba? I first started singing on stage at church. I was 2 years old. Two po. And I think my mom accompanied me on stage. Tapos nagpa-piano po yung tita ko. So, laki din po kasi ako sa church and I was singing a solo at 2. And then from there, bata pa po ako, all the opportunities I can get, my parents try to push me to take them. So, I grew up on stage, basically. The stage has become my playground, I guess. And I came from a school that's very musically inclined as well, very inclined to the arts, to performing. So since I was grade 1, grade 2, there were always stage opportunities na I would grab. I would always try to have a play on stage with music, with audience, with the craft. So yun po, growing up, it's been part of me already. But I grew up with no professional background or training in theater. Nung older na po, doon na po ako nag-training.
Oh, okay. Sabi mo nga, wala kang professional training before nung bata ka. Pero I guess it's because you always grab opportunities to sing, to perform, kaya sobrang gumaling ka right now. Paano na-open up sa'yo yung opportunity for Miss Saigon?
Okay, what happened here was I think I was grade 10. Nakita ko po yung poster online, I think, Miss Saigon open call auditions. Usually po, pag open call, what that means is it's open to everyone. Sometimes kasi, when musicals as big as Cameron Mackintosh Productions hold auditions. It's not open for everyone. Parang by invitation lang po. So, Miss Saigon, they had a worldwide search for their cast. They traveled all around the world just to find the people they want to get to put up this show, to put together a show such as Miss Saigon. Kasi very diverse po yung cast, diba? I found out that they were going to Manila to hold open auditions. And I was 16. I was thinking, ay, parang I want to try because I've always wanted to be a theater actress. And I did not expect anything from this. All I wanted po was, alam mo po yung you idolize theater actresses, Lea Salonga, all the big names. And yung feeling lang po na, if I go to this audition, mararanasan ko yung audition na naranasan nila. Kahit yun lang po yung like just to experience how it's like for actors to audition for their role. Hindi man po yung role yung iniisip ko Kasi I know I was young, I was inexperienced compared to so many people auditioning there. And I had no training. So yun, I knew about the auditions. I decided, actually I was thinking twice, do I go to this audition? Kasi nga sure po ako na ba't po ako kukunin dito kasi wala naman akong experience. I'm 16 and besides, like I said, I was in grade 10. I was busy with exams. Kasi medyo hell week po nun I was busy with exams, with papers, with a lot of schoolwork. Medyo tambak po that time. So I was even asking my teachers na, do I take this opportunity? Parang I really want to experience it. But there are priorities now. Kasi ito po yung priorities for my studies. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna get here. But they reminded me not to let an opportunity that's there just slip away. Kasi it's a big opportunity. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience to just even audition for it. So, yun po. After, ang haba po ng sinasabi ko, tinatanong niyo lang po kung kung paano ko nalaman.
Go lang.
So yeah, I just knew basically, in summary, I knew from a poster. After that, I had doubts. But in the end, I decided, okay, I'm gonna go to the auditions. It was in the Opera House. And yun po, sige, hayaan po muna po kayo mag-ask. Medyo nakakadaldal.
Hindi, okay lang. Ang saya ng kwento. So go on. And then you audition.
I auditioned.
And then what happened?
Like I mentioned earlier, they had a worldwide search for their cast, the Miss Saigon creative team. They went to Korea, to Japan, to San Francisco, Hawaii, everywhere talaga. When they went to Manila, I found out that there are about 1,000 people auditioning. If I remember correctly, around 1,000 people. So I went to the Opera House. I was 16, diba? And everyone was like, UP, major in music, what's this? Major in voice, minor in blah. And then this other person I see is an experienced theater actress in the Philippines. And then this other person I see is an experienced singer in the Philippines. I'm like, I'm 16. I'm doing exams. I'm high school. So everyone else in that audition room was so much more experienced than I am. I was intimidated. At one point, I told my mom. My mom was there with me. The first call, the open call. Parang sabi ko po, parang ayoko na. Parang I'm scared because I see everyone. I see them warming up their voices. I see them practicing their lines, everything. Parang they know what they're doing. And I'm there like, I'm gonna sing. Do you know Sun and Moon po? Sun and Moon from Miss Saigon?
I think I do.
Other people were preparing songs that were like the hardest in Miss Saigon. I was preparing like the first part of a very sweet, a relatively simple song compared to the more difficult ones. So parang I really felt like wala akong laban. But I remembered, I went back to my motive of why did I go here in the first place? Why did I leave my exams? Why did I leave my papers just to be here? Why am I getting pressured, diba? My goal was not to get in the musical. My goal was just to enjoy the feeling na I'm going through what Lea Salonga once went through. Parang yun lang. I'm going through what the theater actors who are now big in Broadway, they once went through this, and that's all I want. That's all I wanted to experience. So I was there reassuring myself na it's okay, you're the youngest and you get to experience this at a very young age, and that's all you wanted, to experience this. So yun po, I carried on, and yun po, one by one, we get in the audition room. People, I can hear some from outside. Like I said, very talented, ang galing. When it was my turn, diba, they come out all confident, and I come in not very shy, because I'm not really a shy person, pero sobrang inocente po. Like, in contrast to them, very young, where there's so much space for confidence and for growth. And I came in the audition room like that, confident but not all put together. So I went in the audition room. Wala pong, kasi dami pong nag-audition, diba? They do not usually, the first call, they don't usually have time to ask you, what's your name, how are you, what's your song, ganun. It's more, you get in the audition room, piano plays right away, and you sing. So you have only 16 bars. So I think, if I remember correctly, 16 bars, which is not a lot in music. So what that meant was you only have a very limited amount of time to prove yourself, to show what you've got. And what I prepared wasn't even the highest songs, the highest notes. Usually parang they wouldn't push to have more time with you because there are so many people auditioning. But then for some reason, after I sang, the directors, Lawrence Connor, Paul Wooler, these names are like the creative team in Cameron Mackintosh in Miss Saigon, the UK. And they asked me, do you know the song I'd Give My Life For You? And they started asking me to sing more. They started asking me to do a couple of stuff for them, which was weird kasi ang dami pong naghihintay. Why are you investing time in me? And I'm like, is it because I'm not giving enough? Is it because I'm not giving like the high songs you're probably looking for? So I went, yun lang. I just carried on. I did what they asked me to do. Then I went out of that audition room feeling like, okay, I experienced it. Parang I'm happy na. I experienced what Lea Salonga once experienced for her to be Lea Salonga. I experienced what Eva Noblezada once experienced for her to be Eva Noblezada. So I came out of that audition room and then waited for a couple of people to go in. There was this lady who was holding papers. And then I saw my photo in it. And then sabi niya, parang, okay, everyone, you may go home. Thank you so much for auditioning. Joreen, please stay. Like, oh. And then sabi niya, please proceed to get your callback slip. That means you get through the second screening. Something like that. Something like a second screening. So, first screening po, everyone's invited. It's an open audition. Second screening, the callbacks, that's when kumukonti na yung tao, parang pipili po sila from the people who audition. And then from there, they're gonna ask you to do more. When you go in, this is where they talk to you na. And then they ask you to do a couple of stuff, like a bit of a workshop, ganun. And then, pipili na naman sila ng mako-callback ulit. And then, I got another callback. Diba? The next callback, I go back to the opera house and then do some more stuff until parang pakonti ng pakonti, but I get a callback and another. So, ganun po. So, it's a series of screening, parang a process of screening. When I got to the final callback, parang it was getting serious. It was getting more and more serious na I was feeling like, so I have a chance here. Parang it's no longer like a dream of experiencing the auditions. It could actually progress from here. Pero I reminded myself, that's not what it's what I'd want, but it's not your goal at first. Parang all you wanted to do was to enjoy this process. Even being alongside amazing actors who were also called back, that was already something for me. Mm-hmm. And I even remember taking pictures with them. Like, it was embarrassing. But yun po, ganun po. I was just starstruck with everyone there. I was just happy to meet. If you know Claude Michel Schoenberg, he was the composer of Les Mis, Miss Saigon. He was at the final callbacks, and it was more than enough for me to have seen him, to have been coached by him in the final callbacks. And then after the finals po, they're like, okay, thank you so much for auditioning. That's where we wait from there to get an email from them. If wala kang email, then wala. So I was waiting a few months. It was a waiting game. 4 months have passed. Wala pa pong email. Tuloy lang. But I constantly check my emails. I never checked my emails as often before. Now, at that time, I did. Then I saw the email of Mr. Paul Wooler, who's the casting director of Miss Saigon. And then, parang the emails, we are very much considering you to be a Kim, the lead role of Kim, understudy. Understudy po is you have to cover for the role when the main actor is not available. So yun po, I was happy enough to have been considered. Yun po, I didn't even know how to react to that. I didn't know na bawal po palang pagsabi yung mga ganon. Kasi nga, I was young. I was 16. Na-overwhelmed po ako that time. I remember I went to the States, and then dun sa airport po, picture nga po pala, mamaya na lang po, baka hindi ko So I found Lea Salonga, and then we approached her. She was very accommodating. I told her po, my dad actually helped me and told her, she got an email from Paul Wooler. Lea Salonga was just, oh my God, congratulations, ganon. And I didn't think she'd remember me from there. Kasi nga, considered lang po yung sabi sa email eh. And then after that, it took a while before they emailed me back. Like a lot of months, mga 5 months, 6 months. And fast forward na lang po when the email finally came na you have been offered the role of alternate Kim. Alternate po is a bit, you get to play the role a bit more often than an understudy. What an alternate does is the main actor plays, let's say, if there are 8 shows a week, she plays Kim 6 times a week, and the alternate plays Kim 2 times a week. So yun po ako, the alternate Kim. And I would take over whenever the main actor is not available. So anyway, when I found that out, it was a mix of, kasi po, the ones who got in the finals, I remember even looking at them and trying to, kasi I was sure na I'm not gonna get this. I'm too young. I'm 16. So when I was looking at everyone, I'm like, grabe no? Like, I'm in the finals for Miss Saigon UK. And here in this room, I am with the future Kim. Yun po yung iniisip ko. Here in this room, I am, like, at least pag nakast na, one of these girls, when they get casted, I could say, na once upon a time in my life, I was in the same audition room as one of them. So I remember, yun nga, like I said earlier, I took pictures with everyone na, just so, not everyone, but the ones I made friends with, just so in case she gets Kim, then like, I have a picture with her already. Then I didn't know. That's why when I got the email na, you have been offered the role of alternate Kim, tapos pinakita po yung contract and all of that. At first, I thought, hindi ba to wrong send? Hindi ba to sa akin ba talaga to? Kasi I'm the youngest, I'm the least experienced. But it's also a mix of, hindi, andyan naman pangalan ko baka akin to, parang ganun. Then like, it was a mix of, I can't believe it, oh my God, I'm in Miss Saigon, like, am I even ready for this? If this is for me, am I even ready for this? Like, will I take it? Even if, like, not all opportunities, I would acknowledge that not all opportunities are from God. Is this something na I should take, or is this a distraction? Is this something na that would lead me astray from my values, from where I want to go, from going straight ahead, or is this really a gift? Is this really for me? So parang it was a mix of all these. Not importante ako na baka I won't take it, but it's more like I was 17. Was I really ready to go and be away from my family, live in the UK for the first time alone? Parang live on my own at 17 in a foreign land. I didn't know how to cook back then. I didn't know how to even do my own laundry. Parang wala po akong alam sa buhay. So it was also a question of, am I ready for everything if I take it? But yun nga I realized all these experiences, it won't come with a manual. Parang you get thrown into the waters, and that's how you grow. That's how you grow both as an artist and as a person, as an actress and as a person. So after many nights of prayer, after many nights of thinking about it and consulting different people, I decided I am going to take this. Maybe I have a purpose there, and it's a dream I've always wanted to fulfill. I'm gonna go enjoy it. I'm gonna go seize it. So yun po. And that's how that's a very condensed version. It's so much longer than that, pero hanggang bukas pa tayo dito kung sinabi ko lahat. But yeah, it was surreal. And when it was because when you get the email, hindi agad i-announce ng team. But when it was announced, when UK site started, when I saw my name there, Joreen Bautista will be playing the role of alternate Kim, that's when it struck me na, oh my gosh, it's actually happening. It wasn't just an email, it wasn't just a prank. Baka prank lang kasi, baka may gumagawa-gawa niyan. It was amazing to take in, and it was overwhelming. Nawalan na ako ng adjectives, but it was all these strong feelings mixed in my heart and inside me. Yun po.
Sobrang saya ng kwento. Parang sobrang fresh pa rin yung experience. Gusto nga kita kaninang i-congratulate. Parang nakakakuha mo lang kahapon. Parang ganun yung feel. So parang, congrats, Joreen. Nakuha mo. Sobrang galing. Pero what I like about the entire experience na kwento mo is that you constantly went back to your goal na you just wanted to enjoy the entire experience, not expecting really to get a role. Pero yung just to have a feel of what it's like to be in the audition, katulad ng mga idols.
Exactly.
Kaya parang ang saya ng experience. Kasi
yun nga po
wala masyadong mabigat na na expectation para sa sarili na makuha. But then again, ang saya, lalo, kasi you got it. You got the role. So parang, ang galing.
While everyone siguro was trying to learn their piece, focus, ako nga nasa starstruck ako with everyone there, honestly. They were all so amazing. And everybody was very, very, very talented. There were big names I looked up to in the auditions. And yeah.
Perhaps the reason you got the roles because of your innocence, yung freshness, yung wide-eyed, wonder na, I'm here.
Good thing you mentioned po. That's what I left out. That's what I was supposed to say something like that. That's part of the story. If you know Carla La Forteza, she used to play Kim. She was at the auditions, but she was in the audition room. And yun po, I got to have a chat with her before I left for the UK. And I remember asking her po before leaving na. Parang this was after all the press, after all the emails. Parang I was already preparing to fly. I had a session with her because she once played Kim understudy as well in Miss Saigon years ago. And I asked her, Tita Carla, why me? Kasi when I'm there, like what were they looking for? I wasn't, like, everyone was so confident in hitting their high notes. Ako nga po, alanganin lang. Like, my voice was not the most developed back then. So, why me? Why me? Parang maraming interviews din po Parang they would ask me, why do you think you got chosen? My reply would always had been, that's a question I've been asking myself. Why me? And I finally asked Tita Carla, and she said, baby girl, very extra.
Tita.
She's very tita. You telling me you have no experience is the very trait of Kim they're looking for, something like that. Kasi Kim, the role of Kim is very, I'm sure you know, she's very innocent. She's a dreamer, very hopeful. And there's something in her eyes that that sparks na parang, siguro that's what they saw, na I was there. My eyes were like shining na I'm actually in the auditions. But walang parang star effect, I guess. And I think what they wanted to find their Kim, which I can't be so sure kasi I don't have their brains, but apparently this is according to a few people, what they were looking for is someone na wala pang something established yet in her artistry, in her like being an actress. What they want is to be able to mold someone, to be able to find someone who is teachable, moldable, someone that they can shape into being the Kim they wanted to create. I think that's what they wanted, to create the Kim, not to find someone who has already. But then I don't know. We can't be sure, like I said, but that's probably a factor. I was young, I was innocent. In some scenes, Kim has to look at like images of people that are disturbing. Kasi it's a place of, diba, the story of Miss Saigon, there's prostitution. Siguro, the face na people would put on when they see those images, parang they would try and be like, oh, what would Kim act like? How would Kim react? Parang ganon. And they would try to give that same reaction in the other. When I see those images, since I was very young and innocent, I wasn't acting at all. How I reacted, that's how they think I acted. That's my natural reaction. Yeah. I didn't know what was happening. I haven't really been exposed to prostitution and all that stuff. So seeing all these scenes, parang it was disturbing to me. And I guess it shows in my eyes, in my face. Yeah, good thing you mentioned po. I think that's one of the reasons.
Yeah. And your youth, your rawness, your innocence is like the raw material talaga for the character. Because parang you are.
Yeah. Wow.
You are. Yeah. So, yeah, it's for you. I think it's for you. The role is really for you. But of course, syempre, if I get in there and you have like a talent, siguro hindi rin ako makukuha. But also because I know that you are talented and we've seen your videos and you really sing so well. So you said that you didn't have any professional training before this. And am I right to say na this is your first audition?
This was my very, very first audition. Very, very first job. Very first. There were a lot of firsts with this experience. Yeah.
See, this is your first, but then you got in because I also believe na andun talaga yung talent. So my question is, what do you think helped you be so magaling in singing? Like what experiences or what did you do to get to this point na you can sing this well?
Like I mentioned dun sa auditions, I did not sing the songs perfectly. But when I knew na when I started getting considered, when the emails just said, we're considering you to be Kim understudy and all that, and that's when I started. Just to go back to what you said earlier, when they look for Kim, they're not only looking for a singer, kasi there are so many talented singers there talaga. Grabe, ang gagaling lahat. But what they're looking for, more than a pretty voice, is a character, is someone who can fill the big picture. And I guess na that's the image they're looking for when they saw me. Siguro that's what they wanted to fit in, to parang fill in the piece of the puzzle, parang ganon. But of course, since I got in, before even flying, I would sing a lot of Miss Saigon here. I struggled with some songs for a long time. I'd Give My Life For You, Twist Death. Nahirapan po ako just trying them out. I'd watch Lea Salonga, I'd watch Eva Noblezada. Try ko pa nga pong, sige, copy ko nga. Hey, can I try? I'll try what they're doing. Pero no, it's not working. It's not, parang, I may have similarity, my voice may have similarities with their voices by a bit. But if I just copy everything they do, feels like I'm just trying to be them, not I'm trying to play Kim. So, yun na, like, hindi ko rin po alam. Actually, ano ba gumaling? I did a lot of it. I practiced a lot. And when I got to the UK, they were kind enough to give me a vocal coach. Her name was Heather Weir. And ang galing po, like, I learned so much from her. But back in the Philippines, my mom would also help me. Parang she would support me. She knew her music. She knew how to sing. Not a professional vocal coach, but I had like all these people supporting me. And I think that's a very nice thing to have when you're nurturing a talent. No, there are all these people surrounding you who are either kahit cheering for you, who are there to nurture you, who are there to give constructive criticisms, and who are there to just help you take care of what you have, the growing, parang the seed na you've planted. So I guess that was it. Na there were all these inspirations. There are all these people I wanted to make proud. And I believed in it. I believed in what God gave me. I kind of just had to trust na I'm gonna get there. Maybe hindi ko pa abot yung songs now, but I'm gonna get there. Imagine, I got the role, hindi ko pa abot lahat ng songs. Hindi ko pa abot lahat ng notes. But it got there. I'm just thankful for everyone. Hindi ko po maaangkin lahat ng credit because there was a team, like a village helping me in raising that artist out of me.
That's so nice. So it really helps that you practice, of course, you develop your talent. And it also helps na meron kang mga tao surrounding you to nurture your talent, to give you constructive criticism, to coach you. Because I agree, hindi ka basta gagaling lang on your own.
At least for me, ganun.
I think it also applies to others. Syempre, of course,
it applies.
You practice on your own. Syempre, talent mo yun eh. Pero you also need outsiders' perspective when it comes to developing your talent. But how about in acting? Kasi we watched one of your interviews and you said na one of the important things in acting is to tell the story truthfully. Anong ibig sabihin mo doon?
There's a difference po between choreographed and truthful acting. Diba po, when you're on stage, let's say, syempre everything is choreographed. Everything has to be planned in a show. Hindi naman like there na, dapat truthful tayong lahat na, wala nang choreography. Everyone just get on stage, let the music drive you, let the song take you away. Parang ganun, that's what they say. Kung puro puso nga naman, then madadala ka lang sa stage. Magulo po yung stage, diba? So, I think it's, there's a balance between sticking to your choreography, to what your director, to the notes your director gives you, and to allow it to come from your heart. To why, parang go back to why you are doing a very, like a tiny detail. Example po, let's say, in this scene, Kim has to sit on the chair. So if you're not, let's say parang pagod ka na, a choreographed actor would go like, okay, I need to sit on that chair when the music goes like this. So, andyan na yung music, sige, upo na tayo, parang ganon. So that's, tapos you're just acting your, parang muscle memory. I have to sit on this chair, and then at this part, I have to make a sad face. At this part, I have to laugh. At this part, okay, hintayin lang natin siya matapos kumanta, and then after that, I have to scream kasi yun yung sabi sa script, diba? Parang ganon. And we have to follow that because that's the script writer. But if you're chained to that, if you're only chained to what the script says, na this part you have to sit, this part you have to scream, this part you have to laugh, this part you have to carry your child. Parang ganun. Eh di, parang it's lifeless. It's very dull. Like you just do this and then parang robot ka lang. Naalisin mo yung you carry your vase. What I meant by truthful acting is, okay, in a few moments after this song, I'm gonna have to sit on that chair. But why do I have to sit on that chair? Because Kim is tired, because Kim is overwhelmed, because Kim is sad. And like you have to feel that sadness. Now when you sit on that chair, you're not, the audience have to see na parang it's authentic na you're sitting on the chair not because you have to, but because there's something in your body that tells you you have to sit on that chair. If you need to scream, it's not because you just have to scream at the next, like after this song, or at this beat, or when the lights come out. But it's because maybe after the song, you felt something in your heart na, let's say nga may napatay kang tao, diba? Like, how would you react to that? Will you scream just because the script tells you to scream, or will you scream because that's how it would feel to you, that's how it would affect you? Parang ganon. So, truthful acting is allowing things that surround you on stage to affect you and taking that in, but while doing the choreography the director assigned. I don't know if that makes sense po. Ang dami ko po kasi
sinasabi. That makes sense. Na parang, of course, choreograph nga naman talaga, di ba? May script ang nasa play. But first of all, truthful acting is not just following what's in the script. It has to make sense to the actor, of course, first.
Exactly.
Why it's in the script.
You have to live the role.
Yes.
And feel everything the role is feeling.
Yeah.
No, parang you have to take into account what the actor has been through. Like, kung, di ba parang, kunwari, you're gonna exit the stage running. Tapos mamaya-maya, mag-e-enter ka na naman sa stage ng running. Di ba, as an actor, you're running off stage. Pag nasa backstage ka, di ka naman talaga tumatakbo eh. Pero ka lang, relax ka lang doon. Tapos, you run back in. Tapos when you run back in, choreography would be like, dapat hinihingal ka. Ganon.
Yeah.
But, when you're truthful, you have to take into account na your character ran from there. Tapos the time you were backstage, the time you were probably drinking water or relaxing or eating, your character, she probably has been running a whole long way. She probably has been running from I don't know, basta a very, very long way. Na when you enter the stage again, you have to keep that in mind. You have to take into account what she's been through, the obstacles she probably encountered when she was running. And that's what the audience have to see when you enter the stage again. The journey that even happened backstage na So yun po, there are so many things, and that's what makes theater so magical for me. And it's a craft that's not just simplistic, but there's so much happening, so much you have to keep in mind. And while you're having fun.
Yeah, your explanation for truthful acting really makes sense. As in, like, na-gets ko.
Ang daldal ko po, no? Siguro kaya po sinabi na, gets ko na po, kasi siguro kasi... Tutuloy ko pa po sana eh. May example sa ulit.
Magpapaquiz ka ba sa amin?
Mamaya po.
Hindi, actually, hindi. Nasabi ko lang talaga na na-gets ko kasi sobrang clear sa head ko nung pagkaka-explain mo what truthful acting is. Sino yung mga favorite mong actors and singers?
Syempre, there's Lea Salonga. Miss Lea Salonga, the first ever Kim, Miss Saigon royalty. She watched one of my shows once. I was Kim, when I played Kim. And, yeah, parang iba yung feeling na I used to sit amazed in my chair watching the Miss Lea Salonga. And that one show na I learned she was watching me from the audience. Parang dati ako yung nasa seat dati pinapanood ko idol ko, ngayon yung idol ko nanonood sa akin. This was in Birmingham in the UK. So yeah, there's her, and then there's also Sierra Bogus from The Phantom of the Opera. Ang dami po, there are so many people I look up to. Sutton Foster, they're all Broadway actors from Ivan of Lozada. Madami po. Yeah. And I copied each one of them na may time na ay gusto ko maging kagaya ni this girl. Gusto ko maging kagaya ni whoever, parang name whoever I see on TV, whoever I watch. But then in the end, what would work is your own voice. What would work is what feels natural to you. Yeah. But they're all amazing. They're all so talented. Yun. Hanggang ngayon, nasa starstruck pa po ako sa kanila.
Nice. Yeah. What captured me was you were copying all of these people na you idolize, but at the same time, you want to also maintain your own uniqueness. Paano mo nagagawa yun? Kasi di ba minsan when you're starting out, of course, you inevitably sound like the people that you idolize. But how do you find your unique voice?
You know, mahirap pong tanong yan because I wouldn't know how to answer that. I also am not an expert in finding my own voice because it took a while for me to find it, and sometimes I'm still finding it because sometimes when I see someone really, really good, napapaano ko, gusto kong try yan. Kasi I think it's a very natural reaction when you hear a very good sound na yung feeling na try ko nga rin, baka gusto ko rin gawin, and ano. But I don't know whether to recommend na you'll allow people to explore all these voices until they find their own, or whether you tune these people out and you just stick to your own. Kasi I think your voice could be an influence of many voices you've heard. It's almost like forming your own opinion. When you form your own value, I guess, your own stand on a particular matter. Diba? Before you're able to form what you believe in, you're gonna have to hear all these different beliefs. You're gonna have to hear all these different opinions. And then from there, you pick the ones that make sense to you. You pick the ones that you would stand up for. And I think finding your voice is a mix of knowing by heart what comes out naturally in you, and also picking the ones na you would enjoy from other people as inspiration, not completely copying what they have, but establishing, developing, or taking inspiration from others and turning it into your own, parang altering it to make it yours, parang ganon. I think that's the way, but I wouldn't know a shortcut to find your own voice. I'm not the best at giving advice in that. But I think one thing to really keep in mind is to know na you're probably not copying anymore. You're probably in your own natural voice when you don't feel like you are trying too much, when it feels natural to you. And when you are singing, you don't feel like you are having to put on a mask. You are not feeling like you have to pretend or something. Diba yung parang, dapat I'm singing Titanic, dapat I'm like Celine Dion. Diba parang dapat ganyan siya. Diba parang when you're not doing any of that, when you're relaxed, siguro that's siguro. I said siguro kasi I'm not an expert in that.
Yeah, but it makes sense,
I'll let
no?
everyone else explore.
Yeah. Oo, it makes sense. Kasi actually nga naman, wala naman tayong tinatawag na unique as in walang influence ng iba Diba? Even yung mga interviews of other creatives that I know, they would say that their craft was influenced by this person. Kumbaga, wala talagang sobrang original 100%. So it really makes sense na sinabi mo na your voice is inspired by these other people. You pick the ones that you want, but at the same time, you make it your own. May tatak mo, kumbaga. Kasi meron pa rin naman yung Joreen. Si Joreen talaga yon. Yung
I
ganon.
like that. I like that so much po. May tatak mo. Yeah. Your
Oo.
own brand. Parang
Yeah.
it's yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So
Ang galing
kahit
niyo
may
po,
influence. Thanks. Hindi, ang ganda kasi ng pagkaka-explain mo na siguro helpful yon sa lahat ng, hindi lang sa field mo, aspiring creatives din in other fields, na siguro nga the key to finding your own voice is not really tuning out your influences, but exploring, like what you said.
Yes.
I'd encourage them to explore, that's what you said. And then, i-infuse mo yung sarili mong personality,
Yes,
sarili mong style, para meron kang tatak, yung sarili mong brand.
Exactly.
So, yun, guys. Ganda nun, ang ganda. So, ito yung next question namin. So, excited akong malaman yung sagot dito. Kasi you've had the opportunity to work with a culturally diverse team when you are in Miss Saigon. So, ano yung mga benefits nun in terms of your creative process? And at the same time, ano yung mga challenges?
I guess, challenges muna tayo kasi the benefits, they really outweigh the challenges. But the challenges were, of course, there were, if I remember correctly, there are about, in the cast of Miss Saigon alone, there were about 14 different nationalities. So I was working with a very, very, very diverse group. When I was there, the challenges were, of course, number one, yung language barrier. Not everyone was fluent in English. Maraming Pinoy, which is sobrang masaya, sobrang saya nun. Then some have accents you wouldn't understand right away if they did speak English. And sometimes what may mean to you would mean differently to them. Kung okay lang po, magkukwento na naman po ako ng konti.
Go
like
lang.
an example is, let's say to the British, when you say you look tired, it means na parang medyo insult pala yun for them. Parang ini-insulto mo sila. But then for us Filipinos, diba? When you say, you look tired, it's out of concern. There were things na other people wanted to say but meant differently than how it came off to other people because of the culture differences, because of the language differences, and how they take different matters. These were things na we had to, I guess, meet halfway. And these were things na we had to agree with each other in the cast, in the family, na to us, this actually means this. It's not just that. That's just one example out of so many instances na I've seen it happen. But yeah, part of the challenges was having to let each other know what we mean and having to be transparent about what we're putting across, parang ganon. So with that, it's a benefit na rin na you get exposed to how they would take things, and they get exposed to how you would take things. And like there were 14 different nationalities, iba-iba yung how people would interpret the exact same word, the exact same sentence. And being exposed to that, it was, I guess, parang it's a learning experience, diba? These things, they won't ever be taught in school. You won't learn it in books. You won't learn it in a classroom. So, nag-gap year po kasi ako nun eh. I remember telling myself, okay, nag-gap year ako for high school. I may not be learning in a normal classroom setup, but this is the university of life, and there's so much more learning in it. There's so much more things that it's teaching me so much more that I don't think I would ever learn from just diba? From just reading. So the benefits include na you learn a lot, you get exposed, and you get to teach your own culture. They get to learn about the Philippines. They appreciate the Philippine culture very much because there are a lot of Filipinos in the cast. Siguro, diba, 14 different nationalities. 1/4 of the cast is Filipino.
Wow.
So, diba? Ang dami natin doon because Filipinos are very talented, diba?
Yeah.
And natutuwa sila sa atin, natutuwa sila sa talent. Iba ang galing ng Pinoy. And yeah, I guess part of the benefit also is showing the beauty of your own culture, of what you have, and also learning to at the same time learning to listen to what they have, to open your eyes to what they have, and it's all very, very beautiful. Iba, ang galing ng experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
Were there disciplines that you learned from other nationalities when it comes to your creative process, when it comes to singing or acting?
What I learned from the British, number one, is here kasi in the Philippines, diba, very, directors tend to be very strict, tend to be very, very professional, very kind. And, parang if they can talk to you in a way na hindi ka kailangan bulyawin, they would make everything as professional as possible. What I also learned from them was being on time, because here it's
Wow.
ridiculously when I was there, I learned to really come even way before the call time, and it's a very good habit to develop. For 2 years I was there, diba? Na-develop naman. And it was it's a good thing to have. What else did I learn from there? From the Koreans, I learned na their respect, grabe, diba? You
Yes.
greet each other, you bow to each other. From the Japanese people there, I learned to eat healthy. Parang ganun. Both as an actress, as a person, there's so much learning from everyone there. And even their beliefs. I got to hear all the different their different takes on life, on their values. Because all I grew up was the same values I know from my family, from my friends. But hearing all the values that differed from mine, it only strengthens your own values because it challenges them. And
Wow.
that's how you get to establish a stronger sense of belief in what you stand for. Na you finally heard opposing opinions, pero respecting them. Like, we disagree on so many things, but I loved hearing everything because it's what challenged what I believed in. And ang galing to have gone through that at 17.
Yeah.
Grabe, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You were not in school then, but yung experience parang lumaki yung mundo mo in a way. Ang dami mong natutunan.
Yes.
Katuwa. And I also like the fact that you learned a lot from other nationalities, not just in terms of your craft, pero as a person. And I was expecting also that when you said na ang dami mong nakuhang other beliefs, I mean, hindi nakuha, pero narinig na other beliefs, I was expecting na it rattled yours and maybe influence or change yours, pero I was surprised to know that it even strengthened, or hearing these other beliefs strengthened your own set of beliefs.
And that can happen, if you hear other beliefs, if it changes yours, then at least that's what opens your eyes. That's when you know na, what I believed in all my life, it was probably wrong. Parang now that you tell me that, this actually makes sense. So what it does, it just broadens your horizons. It widens your perspective, and opens your eyes to new things na you never really considered before. But yun nga, that's how you know. You know if you really do believe in your own beliefs. One thing to test that is to be challenged by others.
Exactly.
So that's what happened to me. But I'm not saying na if otherwise happened to other people, if nag-change man yung beliefs nila, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not invalidating any of that. Because yun nga, that's the purpose of these experiences, to find where you're at, to find what you want to stand up for.
That's right. Ang ganda. You're not blindly following your own beliefs because you just grew up with them. Pero may nagkaroon ng comparison, nagkaroon ng understanding ng ibang beliefs. Kaya
Exactly.
mas nagkakaroon ng conviction sa sarili mo. Mas naiintindihan mo. Galing, ganda.
Spot on.
Meron ka pa bang, in line with theater and music, meron ka pa bang ibang projects that you want to pursue, especially in this context ng pandemic?
Once in a while, I'd get booked for online events. I would sing. I'd get parang extra racket. I would sing with Sir Jed Madela.
Wow.
A bunch of different people, and sometimes it's events, sometimes charity work lang po na I do it for free. But for now, my focus is my studies, but I'm not saying no to any to opportunities that would still allow me to practice my craft, because I like doing it. Yun nga lang po, nagiging busy nowadays.
Yeah. Do you see yourself doing this? I mean, singing and acting for a very long time. Like a full-blown career talaga.
More on a sideline, more on a hobby, more on a thing na I really like to do. Yes, I see myself singing, acting for a very long time. But siguro I don't want it to be all I have. Just because it's a fickle business. You're not sure na it can sustain you. It's not always kind. It's not always stable. But I love it. I love what I'm doing when I'm in it. But for now, what I want is for it to be there on the side. And I don't want it to feel like work. I want it to just be something something I'd always fall back to when I'm in stress, or when I look for something to do that's actually fun, ganun.
You're very true to your goals, no? Even at the very start, nung nag-audition ka pa lang, it's just to enjoy the experience, enjoy the process.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not caging myself to this extent. I'm not saying na I don't want to grow in it, because I do love show business. But yun nga, just being smart about whether it can sustain me. Because if it can't sustain me, then how can I sustain it when I love it so much, diba? So I want something else na that could be stable enough to sustain me while I sustain this craft that means so much to me. Yun lang po, that's for me.
Yeah, that's very realistic, no?
Although some artists would argue otherwise, and I have no problem with that. Some would like, no, you stick to your craft. Basta, and it's fine. It's okay. It's nice seeing it. It's just personally, I'd also want to explore other things, because I also have that same wide-eyed wonder. I also have it for other aspects, and now I'd like to explore.
That's nice. That's beautiful, actually. Na you're not just of course it's a beautiful thing to focus on one thing, diba? Pero it's also beautiful when you can also explore other things, because you're multifaceted naman talaga tayong lahat, diba?
Yes.
Diba?
There's so much more in this life, diba?
Yes.
So much more to enjoy.
That's right. Sige. Siguro last na tong question na to. What is your advice or tips to other people who aspire to be an actor or a singer, or to get involved in theater?
Well, I would say seize opportunities. That includes singing in your bathroom. That includes singing for your family members. Because that's where I started also growing up. My parents would, pag may visitors, they'd always ask me, you sing for them. Even if as a kid, it was humiliating, it was embarrassing. I had to do it, and very supportive naman silang lahat. But seize those opportunities when you perform. Try not to serve the pie half-baked, but serve it always warm, always perfect, always yung parang it comes from the heart, and it comes from your passion, comes out of your passion. And you mentioned kanina, diba? I always went back to my reason. So I guess I would say always come back to your why. Go back to your why you're doing it, the reason you want it. And kasi most of the time it's your desire that attracts it, I guess. Not an expert. Actually, I don't know. Forget I said that. I made that on the spot. But, parang your desire that attracts it. Siguro that's right in some, But, I stand by what I said. Come back to your why. Go back to the reason you want it. And mind your attitude when you do. Parang, before gets in your head. If your only goal is to get money out of it, if your only goal with anything, being a YouTuber, with being is to get followers, to get parang make your motives right and make your motives sustainable. Make your motives sustainable.
Ganda.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
yeah.
so
And a very,
beautiful.
very sustainable inspiration I see is your creator, I guess. What you believe in. The source of your talent, the source of everything you have. You're gonna come back to that once in a while. Yes, yun.
I love it. Ang ganda. Make your motives right. Sustainable.
Yeah.
Parang ngayon ko lang narinig yun, pero it's so beautiful.
Hindi, alam niyo po, I made that on the spot. I've never said that before, but I've always meant it. I've always meant that in my heart na I was never able to translate it to words. So I used to always copy a quote na if talent will get you through the door, but attitude will always keep you in the room. Every time there's I'd always say that. But then, something else na, kasi that's not mine, by the way. I've seen that somewhere, and I just wanted to remind people about it. But I guess, yeah, that's mine. That's for me. If your motives are sustainable, then you'd know what you want.
Yeah.
And you'd stick to it. And, yun po. Okay na po
Ganda.
Parang pinush ko pa.
Hindi, okay lang. Ang ganda. Ang ganda. Parang there's so much more to explore when you said na you have to make your motives sustainable. Diba? Hindi lang yung craft, but the motives. Diba?
Teka, sulat ko nga po yan. Never ko nga po nasabi yun
Edit namin yon, lalagay namin, make your motives sustainable. Ganda na.
Joreen Bautista.
Yeah, exactly. 2020, Bautista 2020. Oh,
Ganun pa, APA format.
Ganda.
Bakit ganun?
Correct. Research paper, ganun.
Cite your references.
Ang ganda, Joreen. Thank you so much.
Thank you po. Thank you so much.
Kwentuhan. Sobrang dami mong quotable quotes sa kwentuhan natin at sobrang nag-enjoy ako, kausap ka, and matuto sa'yo and sa mga experience mo. Parang ang feeling ko ngayon, ano nga yun? Yung guys, tulungan niyo ako, yung learning na vicarious. That's the word.
Spell po.
Huwag na lang. Joke lang. Diba yung vicarious na parang siya lang yung naka-experience pero dahil kinikwenta niya sa'yo, parang na-experience mo rin tapos natuto ka din vicariously sa experience ni Joreen.
Ang galing naman. Na-pick up niya nga po ng lahat ng kadaldalan ko. Ang galing.
Gusto namin yung mga madadaldal. Huwag ka okay lang yun.